Good? All right, everyone, we will go ahead and get started here with Max Homa in the Media Center at the WM Phoenix Open. Max, I know you only got 5 holes in your Pro-Am today, and it's been kind of a crazy transition from Pebble, but so overall, how are you feeling headed into the week and thoughts on the game so far?
Yeah, last week was not very good. It was nice to get some work in with my coach yesterday. Feels a lot better. Sometimes you just need to get out of the city you're in and your golf game gets a little bit better. So looking forward to it. Would have liked to play some more holes today. However, it was nice to kind of get to go take the stuff I worked on and play, 9 yesterday and some today. So feels good. I always love playing this golf tournament. It's one of the most fun ones we play. One of the most well-manicured golf courses, so it's hard not to feel pretty good going into this week.
Perfect. All right, we'll just hop right into questions. We can start here with Dan. Your microphone there.
First of all, are you feeling okay? Your voice a little hoarse?
Yeah, last week was freezing, and then this week is freezing, so I'm sure everyone's probably got some kind of cold. I feel fine. I'm just losing my voice.
And then you were on Twitter talking about how your hope is that the Strategic Sports Group, they come in and they're change some things to make it better for the fans. Do you get the sense that that's what they're going to do, or do you think that the tour is going to look pretty similar going forward?
If you think I'm in the meetings with the SSG, then you've pegged me wrong. I don't know. I would hope so. My general point is I feel like that the communication or the things being taken from news in golf now always highlights the money that we're making. And I can guarantee that SSG didn't come in to give us a bunch of money just for fun. So I would imagine that they want to make their money back and then some. And if you just keep trickling down that rabbit hole, well, how would that happen? I would say one avenue would be to entertain the fans so that we have more fans while keeping the ones that we've got at the moment and, making money that way. So that's just how I see it. I don't have a beat on it, but I know that the management of the PGA Tour wants the PGA Tour to succeed, and success is, having a larger fan base. And yeah, I don't know enough about the business, but I don't see how you could do all that by not improving the product and tailoring it to people watching. So that's just, how I see most sports going. So I would assume that would be the case, but it would be hard for me to know 100% for sure, but that feels like a fair assumption.
Yeah, Claire. Go ahead, Claire.
I'm assuming you're staying at home this week, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the perks of that compared to other weeks? And then do you have any recommendations of where people should be going?
Yeah, one major perk is my son can sleep in his room, and we know where everything is, and it's not last week with the power going out, for example, at Pebble, we're in a house with the Morikawas, and we don't have all of his toys, and now you're just full-blown entertaining a 1-year-old in a house that's not baby-proofed, and it's chaotic. So we have at least that going for us this week. Recommendations: I do not go outside of my house other than to the golf tournament this week. It's a little bit busy, but there's a lot of great food options here. Depends your price point, but there's a lot of great options down by me in Old Town Scottsdale. Favorite restaurant in Scottsdale is called Ocean 44 if you're looking to spend a little bit of money. And if not, there's a great place called Eat Up right by my house that I think is fantastic, quick, healthy, fast food.
Thank you. Let's go right here.
I also live in Arizona. My kids enjoy playing in the rain. And does that kind of joy of just goofing off and being out in the rain, does that translate at this level, or is it so serious and so locked in that this is more of an annoyance? What's it like to play in the rain?
I guess I'd be lying if I said it wasn't annoying, but I don't think that means it isn't fun. I've always enjoyed playing the Open Championship, and I think a big part of it is because you assume the weather's going to be terrible. I also think the golf courses are tailored to bad weather a little bit more than, in America. I enjoy it. I actually like when it rains. I like when it's windy. I like when it's miserable because I do think that a lot of the players or a handful of players are just going to be over it. I'm from Los Angeles where it also doesn't rain a whole lot. And I enjoyed as a kid, same as yours, when it rained because I got excited to go to the golf course and practice hitting golf balls when it was wet. So I think I still have a lot of that joy, but I mean, it's also annoying. The umbrella back and forth and all that gets old, but I've done pretty well in the rain for a kid from Southern California, so I would say I must enjoy it somewhere deep down.
All right, we can go back to Gabby.
Hey, Max. What's the craziest thing you've seen out here at this tournament?
At this tournament? Oh, that's a good question. Man. I might have already told this story. I don't know if this is the craziest thing I've seen, but it was like my indoctrination into the WM Phoenix Open. My first year playing here, I think, was in 19. I teed off the 10th hole and walk off the tee box, and there's a massive already like congregation of people walking to 16. And as everyone knows at this tournament, there's a handful of golf fans and then a handful of people who like to party around a golf tournament. And there were two women in front of me, and it was kind of blocked off, with all the people across the cart path to the fairway. And I said, "Excuse me." And they looked at me and basically gave me the "I have a boyfriend" look. And then I said, "Excuse me" again. And then they kind of looked at me again, and I started to laugh because I was like, this is, I guess, what this event is. I said, "I'm playing. I will not be jumping your line. I just need to go over here." But it's just that, I guess, like the general theme of this event is that, when you want to take a break from eating and drinking and laughing and having fun with your friends, you might see some golf shots. And I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I've probably seen crazier. I've seen a lot of more inappropriate. That always seems to be the safest story I could tell. I am looking forward to seeing how much heart these people have this week with the cold and the rain. So I know a fairly foolproof way to warm yourself up, and I feel like they're going to take full advantage of that this week.
And on 16, a lot of people say it's kind of just like white noise, the crowd, and it's actually worse if like you were standing there hitting balls silently and someone made like one particular noise. Do you feel like you just tune it out because there's so many people there, or how does it work in your head?
Yeah, it's definitely unique, but I do agree with that. I remember one time we were the last group coming in on Friday, and there was only probably 100 people in there left, which typically would be a lot, but for that it feels not very big, and that was hard because they were out for blood at that point. They waited around all day for this moment, and that was difficult. You could actually hear what they were saying, and they're yelling while you're hitting, trying to make an impression. That was difficult. So now I guess when I go back, it does feel a lot more, it's like a calming chaos. And I don't know, it's fun. I think if you embrace like that you're going to get booed. I mean, I've gotten booed for missing a 20-foot putt. I think it's funny and it's fun. You just have to, I think, have the right attitude. But it's definitely not, we first year here, it's very intimidating. It does feel very loud. And as you get, I guess, a little bit more experience, it just does become a little bit more just white noise rumbling.
All right, we'll go here to Tim on the left next.
I'm sure that you don't want to go back to SSG, but you talked about maximizing their profits as a group, and this is a tournament that has completely figured that out. I mean, in terms of just the folks that are here, the way they built up 16, the entertainment at night. If it is the route that the tour takes under SSG, is that make it not quite as fun any longer? Going from hey, this is a cool party we do once a week outside the other golf tournaments, to this is the norm and now we're in this kind of bubble all the time? Or would you relish that and think that it may make it for more fun every week?
I think in a vacuum, that would work. I don't think people recognize that this is like a part of the culture. I don't know if you've spent much time at ASU, but it's kind of unique. So I think that, we've had events try to do similar types of things. The Rocket Mortgage does a great job with the end of their tournament. 15 has a semi-enclosed area, and it's a party hole. I've seen, the Live Tour does this similar thing. Adelaide does a great job. And so you can try, but you do need the culture of the city to be behind it to make it that great. So I think that this city, it's like a part of, living here all the time, people just call this the Open. Are you going to the Open? Are you going to the Open? It's a massive ordeal here. So I think that you could try and do that, and I don't think it would be successful. So if they were to venture down that and it did work, I think I would like it. It's fun. I just think it is unique to Scottsdale.
Do you think that the clientele that it brings in, this is a young group. I mean, you see a lot of young folks here, 20-somethings that are here all day long. Is that also part of it? If you have will that change the demographic of who comes to these tournaments if it does become that more style?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it would. I think, making golf younger is a big goal. It's tough. It's tough in cities where if we go to LA next week, it's a completely there's not a ton of young people live in the Pacific Palisades unless you're lucky enough for your parents to be very successful. It's a pretty tough area to get real estate. So I just think that it would be great to keep doing something like this. I just don't think it would always land. I'm sure this costs a lot of money to do, but they're going to get a great return. So I'm just not sure that it would be something that people would want to venture down. But it is fun to at least have this event with this demographic that at the very least is bringing eyeballs to younger people that, this is at least something. And maybe if just a couple people grab onto that and say, oh, I really like golf now, that's a success to me.
All right, Max, we'll just go right in the middle here in the white.
Hey, Max, what's the best way to keep your focus and composure on hole 15, knowing you're headed to number 16 in the stadium right after?
I don't know. I've been wildly unsuccessful on the 15th hole, so maybe ask Scotty Scheffler that one. There's definitely like a cool anticipation. It's in an odd way similar to walking to 17 at Sawgrass. You kind of do think about it throughout the back nine. Obviously, as you get to 16, as you've heard in the commercial a million times, is the longest walk in golf. I don't think it's quite that. But it's fun. You do, the hardest shot, I think, the two hardest shots are the tee shot on 11 and the tee shot on 17. 15 is not nearly as bad. You almost have to wait for somebody to hit because there could be something of massive roar. And, 11 is the hardest tee shot out here. So in that case, I would maybe pay some attention to just the timing of when you could tell someone's already hit and when your window would be to hit if you have that luxury. So 15's not as bad. I think you're just excited to get into 16. It is really cool. I mean, I've now played this, quite a handful of times, and I'm still always excited to go into that arena. But I wouldn't say it's, focus. It's more just the ruckus you'll have. You just don't want it to startle you, and I don't think you really get that as much on 15 because you obviously already hit the tee shot and the second shot, so it's not it's hard to really startle somebody when they're putting as much as it is when you're hitting the tee ball on 11.
Yeah, just pass it right up in front of you there. Yeah, gotcha.
Hi, Max. Thinking about just having lived here a while and seeing this evolve, what's your best kind of explanation of how this happened in terms of 16 and this city being the right place for this to just blow up into what it is?
I mean, as most things in professional golf, Tiger Woods' hole-in-one on 16 feels like it was a pretty good jumping-off point. It was already crazy, but I feel like then everybody wanted to be in that. I know I have a buddy, Brian, he went to U of A. I got him a ticket once to come here the year Molinari made a hole-in-one, and he was on 16, and he talks about it. So I just think that there's just been such great moments. It's a hole that's pretty benign, minus the arena. So you see a lot of amazing things, and it just gets, I think every year you just see more excitement around the event. And like I said before, this is like a massive week for the city. People talk about it all year long, and I just think it's because people realize they can come to an event, have fun. It's a lot less quiet. It feels like a lot less rules. And I think, because of all that, it's attracted a lot of people to come out. And I think we as golfers who continue to come to this event, because I know some guys don't love it, but the guys who do, I think, embrace it more. And it's a lot easier for us this week, I feel like, you don't hear as many people say, "Hey, can you quiet, please?" It's just go about your business, and we'll deal with it. And I do think that going forward in golf would be a nice kind of thing, not telling people to stop moving, not telling people to stop whispering. Like, we can get over those types of things, and this week seems actually like a pretty good blend because we know it's going to happen. So I feel like the players are a lot more tolerant to it, and I think that helps the fan experience.
Did you ever come here as a fan?
I did not know. I will say that the year I retire, you will find me here. I will be having a great time.
Where will you sit, or where will you go?
It's a really good question. Wherever the liquid takes me, I think.
All right, we'll just finish up right here.
Oh, that's a good way to finish. First of all, please thank Joe for giving me one of his hand warmers.
I will.
I'll thank him when I see him, and it's still hot. So saved my life today. Second, when was the last time you were out at Papago?
I have not gone out since I played the skins game there after I won Torrey last year. I really enjoyed that event, and I had a few people tell me that I was taking money from players that I guess they said needed it more. So it left a sour taste in my mouth. I love Papago, but I really enjoyed that Monday game. So I have not been back. But I would always tell anybody who's in town when they ask where they should play for the week, if they're on a boys trip or something, I tell them to go there because I think it's a tremendous golf course. It's a really cool little community there. What ASU's done to their practice facility is fantastic. So I really love it over there, but I haven't ventured back yet.
So did you feel guilty?
No.
I mean, did you buy rounds for everybody?
I left all the money I made at for the next skin. Never accepted it. I do not feel bad about beating people. I'll never feel bad about that one. But I don't want to do it anymore. So.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Max, thanks so much for the
Yeah,
time.
thank you
Best
guys
of luck
very
this
much.
week.
Take care.